Hey y'all, it is July the 22nd, 2020, 2024. And I was just thinking to myself, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube. I don't even know how long actually. I might even want to check. Let me see if I can check real quick. It's been a while. I didn't even get to YouTube. When was the last time I uploaded on YouTube? We could check right now for documentation. See, last time I uploaded was 8 days ago. About 8 days ago, alright? Been sincerely neglecting the YouTube. And that's just fine by me, I don't think anybody really, people might care. But in these days, I don't think anybody really needs me to tell you what's up. The people who I know, those people, they already know what's up, all right? The end of the world. If not at least the end of America, for sure, all right? That's for sure. We're going through it, all sorts of things. I don't have to tell you that it's a wild conspiracy, and every day it only gets even more egregious. Trying to take the life of a Donald Trump and everything else. They want to take our lives. That's the whole point. They don't need our votes. They just want to pretend like they need our votes. You know what I'm saying? So I did want to acknowledge that I'm sincerely neglecting YouTube for anybody who gives a dang, all right? But, and the reason for that is because I've been preoccupying myself with other things, to include work. You say, why do you work if America's ending? Why do you work so hard and for so long? It's like I don't really know, right? I figure until the lights go out, let me just work and work and work, and that's just my plan, I guess. Work until I can't work no more, right? So it's taking up a lot of my time, and I'll be working out, catching that macho madness, and it's taking up a lot of my time as well. All right, but in the meantime, of course, and people might already know this, I don't know what's the best. I don't know what's the best way, but X is the best that I found of ways of communicating with people and sharing with people these wild and bizarre little news stories that I see all the time. And of course, if you don't know, I'm Gerard Ismania. I got a funny little hat and glasses. And you can get me at Gerard Ain't Right. All right, that's my at thing. If you want to get at me, all right, on X. So what I found is that with my very little time that I dedicate to the internet, as far as being on the internet, X is really the best way for me that I've found. I don't know who else is on X, all right? I know people been kicked off of X, all right? Some real serious people. But, if you have not yet been kicked off of X, and you want to keep up with me, I'm actually I'm getting more and more regular. Why? Because it really doesn't take very long. What I do is what a lot of people probably do, is I read a little bit of an article. I get damn near disgusted, right? And then I say my little 2 cents right here at the top. For example, San Antonio church leaders trained to serve as mental health counselors, right? I don't want to make this a very long video, but I will say that earlier today I was looking at it. I was looking straight up, before the crack of dawn. I was looking up at a billboard, and it said mental help on it. It had a picture of a lady's face. And I thought to myself, and a lot of people just don't think this way, I thought to myself, mental help is kind of not really going to cut it, all right? Because everybody's got mentalities, and our mentalities are failing us a lot of the times, right? What you need is God's help. A lot of people think, oh, I'm being whimsical or maybe even sarcastic. No, you need God's help, right? You don't need mental help. You need God's help. You don't need mental health. You need spiritual health. That much I can guarantee you. It's so egregious. Is that these church leaders, they're ladies, some of them, by the way, lady church leaders, if that's not already completely egregious, they turn to like Harvard studies and they're like, hey, let's figure out how to make these people not mentally ill. It's a little bit too late for that. People all over the place mentally ill here in San Antonio. You're not going to turn it around now, right? You know who could turn it around? God. I thought you were a church leader. Apparently, you're not. Church leaders in San Antonio realize God's love is not good enough. Basically, more or less. And it goes on, man. Just whatever little articles I find, a lot of them had to do with San Antonio in particular because that's where I'm coming from, right? Random violence is through the roof here in San Antonio, and it is, trust me, randomly. That's one of the things, that's one of the most scary things about these so called mass incidents where, like, people get shot up at random. One of the most scariest things about that is that it's random. All right. And so, but random violence is happening all over the place. Like this lady, and it's not the first time. This lady, she got randomly attacked at the northwest side, and that's the part of the town I'm in. Movie theater in which somebody sat behind her. Basically, more or less, is what happened. Somebody sat behind her, grabbed her by the hair, and beat the shit out of her. And then ran off. Didn't rob her, nothing. It was completely random. It was a random beatdown. She had no idea who this person was. Right? And why I say it's through the roof is because that's not the only incident. People have been getting shot all around town at randomly. It's not something the news really wants to highlight very much, but it goes on and on and on. All sort of things, all sort of things. Because I could do it very quickly. I could do it very quickly. Here's my man Hernando Arce, and he's watching a parade of demons go through San Antonio. This is the San Antonio Parade of Demons. Check this out. This lady's full of demons. Look at her. You don't have to hear what you don't have to hear what she says. She just elbowed that lady in the face. She's full of demons. All right. So if you want to see the kind of stuff that I see, look Alex Jones and some of his stuff, and Hernando Arce, and the list goes on and on. If you wanted to see that, you can see that pretty easily here on X.com. As far as the YouTube content, it's going to be kind of sparse, so I don't really got time. All right, but I do want to leave y'all off on this note. I'm not going to be the first one to say this, and you might have heard this before. You might already really know this, but it's just something that I wanted to reiterate because it's something I've been dwelling upon, especially recently. What has dawned on me, and I pretty much already knew it, sort of, but it's been dawning on me, and it's really becoming absolutely clear, is when it comes to God, you might even go so far as to say when it comes to Jesus, and Jesus is not God, okay? It's the Son of God. So they're different. A lot of people get that messed up and jumbled up. God bless them. You can jumble it up all you want. It's none of my business, right? But Jesus and God, they're different. Jesus is the Son of God. But what I mean to say is that there's a lot of people, and they get into Jesus, or they get into God, and they start thinking, well, I want to be saved and protected, and I want to be looked over, and I want someone to protect me. So they look around and see that there ain't nobody gonna protect you really, all right, on earth. And so they think to themselves, well, maybe if I accept Jesus, or maybe if I accept God, or some people think God is Jesus, and vice versa. Say, what if I accept Him? And I've even been to churches, and y'all probably been to churches, and you probably have heard people say, hey, come up to the front. Are you a newbie to the church? Are you a newbie? Well, then come up to the front and why don't you raise your hands? Why don't you accept Jesus, all right? Isn't it time to accept Jesus? Or accept God or something like that? I understand their intentions, all right? Or there would be intentions when these people say that. I've accepted Jesus into my heart. I've accepted him. That's what they say. Unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you want to go about it, you do not accept Jesus. All right? You do not accept God. And I'm talking to you. I don't care who you are. I'm talking to me like it's a mirror. I do not accept Jesus. And a lot of people might be like, off put. You should be off put. This word's not for you. I do not accept God. All right? The reason I say this is because it is preposterous to think, to have the nerve to think that you're so high and mighty and so special that you accept God. It's pretty well ridiculous. Before I get up out of here, just to paint a picture, I want to make an analogy, and I'm thinking of a tree. And imagine a tree and it's full of oranges, or if you don't like oranges, think of a tree with something else in it, apples or whatever it is that grows in trees. I'm thinking of an orange tree, all right? Tree filled with all these oranges. Imagine you as a person, you go up to that tree and you decide, I want one of those. I want one of those oranges. And you look around the tree and you think to yourself, what's the best looking orange? Which is the most, which orange am I going to like the most? All right, you figure it out. You say, oh, I think I like this one. And you pick the orange. You go ahead and you pick it. You're about to utilize the orange. All right. Let me ask you something. Did that orange pick you? Did that orange, and I mean it, did the orange accept you? Did that orange think to itself, I accept this person. I accept this person's about to eat me, all right? No, it didn't. And I wonder if you're catching the analogy. The orange did not pick you, you picked it. You are the master over that orange in this analogy. And although God is not meaning to eat you, what I mean to say is that God is the one that picks you. A lot of people already know this, but I want to dwell upon that. God picks you. And here's the thing. When he picked you, he chose not to pick others. There's many others. The majority of the other oranges on the tree, he did not pick. He picked you in particular. And that's what I want to stress. You'll never accept God. You'll never accept Jesus because you're not in that position. They are the ones who accept you. And when they do, here's the thing. When God accepts you, what he does, more or less, is he opens your eyes. He opens your ears. He makes you capable of recognizing the truth. A lot of people would call it common sense. Oh, it's not common. That's the joke. It isn't common, but it should be common. The sense, common sense, i.e., the Holy Spirit, he allows you to have common sense. God is allowing you to see the truth. All right? And furthermore, Jesus is just the same. Jesus will pick you. You did not pick Jesus. All right? And when he picks you, you will know in your bones exactly what Jesus did, and you'll never doubt it. I can't name a time in my life. I'll just let you know this. I come from a family that's not religious at all. I don't remember a time in my life when I didn't know for a fact that Jesus did all those things that he did. I never questioned it at all, ever. It's not because I'm an unquestioning person. It's because for some reason, somehow, some way, Jesus chose me, just like he chose plenty others, to know in your bones that Jesus did what he did. And when people want to lie and make stuff up, you already know that they're lying. You don't even have to think about it. When God picks you, he will show you the truth. You will see the truth. You will completely understand that it is the truth. Now, here's the thing. God could pick you. You could see the truth. And then you could potentially turn around and ignore the truth with as hard as you can. Ignore the truth. And when you do that, it's not God turning his back on you. Obviously, it's you turning your back on the truth and you turning your back on God. Like, God picked you, showed you the truth, and then you turned your back on it. All right, and then you're going to turn around and blame him for this, that, and the third. You turned your back on the truth, and that's your damn fault. All right, and it causes all sort of things that are bad, I'm sure. It causes all sort of things that are bad, to include, in my theory, dementia. All right, holler at old Joe if he's still with us. That includes dementia. When God shows you the truth, you ignore it and you keep ignoring it. Sooner or later, your brain will go to mush, and you can't help but to have dementia. All right, that's one of the myriad of things that can go wrong in your life. All right, and so that's basically the long and short of it. God enables you to see the truth. Right? And the truth is that you live forever anyways. You live forever anyways, so why live in fear? Why be so scared of dying? Like, why would you want God, or Jesus for that matter, to protect you in your life here on earth? Don't you know you live in chaos? Don't you know you live in lawlessness? It's not about this earth. You shouldn't be afraid of it because you live forever. And that is the truth. Or you could ignore that and catch dementia like old Joe. And God bless him, and I hope he's still alive, but who knows? I'll holler at y'all a little bit later, or sometime later. Catch me on X, Gerard is Mania, or at Gerard Just Ain't Right. You're on X. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.